do I get this? Okay. All right, link out on Twitter. And let me just get out on Discord and we're good. Can you all hear me fine? All right, links are out. How have you avoided spoilers for multiple days? I just haven't been really on the internet that much because I've been sick. I'm still a bit like rough right now, but I wanted to get the stream done. It's already been like 4 days or something. I'm good. I have seen one thing, but it was just like a blink, and I saw like a colored version of some panel with the cats that were in the last chapter. So I don't think that's much of a spoiler. I should be good. Whew. All right. Uh, give it like 2 seconds. See if some more people want to come in. Uh, did you guys hear Charles Martinet not voicing Mario anymore? That's insane. That's crazy. That feels like something like that would have never happened, but damn. I wonder if he's training someone up or something like that. All right. I'm gonna give it to who's the new voice? I'm not sure. I don't think I just saw like 5 minutes ago or something like that. Nintendo of America posted something to their Twitter, like confirming he's now the Mario ambassador or something like that. Whatever they did to Shigeru Miyamoto. But yeah, he's not recording new audio for Mario anymore, which is crazy. I mean, it's not as if you recorded a bunch of audio for Mario, but they mostly like reused stuff that he recorded a while back, but it was still his voice. So, like the fact that it's gonna be different now is gonna be interesting. It's probably gonna be more of the same, but it's kind of sad. Did they fire Charles? Apparently, he's still like working as a Mario ambassador or something like that. All right. Uh, nah, no need to prolong it. Let's just get straight into the chapter. All right. So, chapter 7, Jungle Warfare. I do kind of like this illustration. I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of it, but I think it's cool to get an ensemble shot. A money making story starting in Hawaii. So like yeah, pretty much confirmation that that's what we're going to be focusing on for the duration of the part. That's such a weird focus for like the last part of your long running saga. Let's make money. Let's edit a nitty. Oh, you want on sale? Yeah. I know a lot of people don't like that new volume 1 cover, but I personally do like it. Don't like the colors. Yeah, I get that. Like they're a bit garish, but you know, it's a Rocky. He's going to be experimental with that kind of stuff. Like he's going to throw whatever he can against the wall until he gets something that he's mostly content with, and then he's just gonna switch it up again. So no canning colors in JoJo, as it were. I really love this new Part 9 emblem that we've got, the 9-pointed star. It's like a bunch of arrows pointing outward, and it has like arrows connecting it on the inside. It's just really clever, in my opinion. It's weird how consistent Rocky is with JoJo's color palette. Yeah, it kind of is. But well, we're only one volume in, so I won't say like, you know, too strongly on that aspect. But like pretty much every colored version of JoJo has been the same so far. Uh, he does just like kind of look like in tune with the color palette that he has. The deviation from the navy blue on his jacket or whatever you want to call it, the life vest, doesn't really look too right, but you know, I'm sure we'll see more experimental color palettes with Jodio as we go along. We have a long way to go, and he's the protagonist, so like we've seen Gappy in every single color in the rainbow, so I doubt we're gonna just have gray hair, blue jacket, Jodia the whole time. It says starting in Hawaii. Yeah, starting in Hawaii. All right, so we very well might get island hopping, then going to different places, potentially even, you know, S City, Morio, maybe, could be. If they keep traveling like up Oceania, go all the way to Japan, maybe. Might see a Higashikata or two. Imagine if they go all the way to Morio and they never encounter a Higashikata a single time. Not a single character from JoJolian. They just go to Morio, stop there briefly, and meet no one that we know. That'd be such an Iraqi like thing to pull. Do you think Araki even wrote that logline? Potentially not. I don't think he writes the like cover stuff. Uh, Something like this maybe, but not this. But you know, I guess we'll see. The points are connected by lines. Okay. One of those just like things you hear in JoJo that like, oh, that makes sense, but like it means nothing. That doesn't mean anything. Okay. Oh, he's upside down. A stand attack. There are cats attacking us. Why? What would it do that for? Have they been watching us since back at Kishibe Rohan's villa? Back at the pool, I got the impression that cat had something to do with Rohan sensei. Could they really be going after the diamond? Are there, well, of course there are jungles in Hawaii, but like, are they really that common around like areas where like a person would have a villa or something like that? That seems not strange. I guess that makes sense, but like it's weird that like that's the direction they escaped into, I guess. I don't know. I don't know too much about like the general like geography of Hawaii. but I guess Araki probably was there in person, so he would know. What what in the world is trying to achieve? Is it trying to achieve by attacking us like this? It's possible it's just trying to eat. For Christ's sake, the floating wires. They're coming at us from behind the bushes. Shit. Okay. Just slice through it. I feel like if it could do that, it could probably like slice through their legs or something like that. Hmm. Reminds me of like back in Steel Ball Run when Gyro like threw the steel ball and like decimated an entire row of trees in the first portion of the race. Sorry. Jojo, break off the branch you're hanging from. We can't free your ankle from that wire. Use the raindrops to break the branch. I can't reach the branch. The branch is outside my range. It's too high up. 7 meters. There's no way the cat took the distance to the branch into account when it launched this attack, right? All right. Hold on. So his range is 7 meters. It seems. Shit, there's no way to defend ourselves. We gotta get up against the trunk. Move. Ugh. Paco, don't move from beneath me. Stay there. Oh, wait, I went backwards. That wire wrapped around your ankle. Jodio. Is my hustle. The only thing that can get close enough to cut it is the hustle. That's such a weird. Any stand with like thought in front of it, like being included like that, it's the hustle. Something really funny about that. Dragona, get moving. I forget what happened. Usagi's not around, right? Did he just like disappear at the end of the last chapter? I can't remember. Is November Rain the largest humanoid stand, 7 meters tall? I think so, yeah. It's not humanoid though. Like it's kind of a spider-looking thing, like a whatever those things are called, water skirters, something like that. All right, fine. I'll cut the wire off your ankle first. Wobble around and get it closer to me, would you? Uh, oh, there it is. They're having so much trouble against a couple of cats. That's funny. All right. So there's three of them. I wonder if they only saw one in the original villa. I wonder if it's just like all three of them control one stand, or they all have like the same stand, kind of like what was it? Rat in part 4. Hmm. The cat, it climbed up the tree. You're kidding me, right? How many of these things are here? Things are here. They're looking at our distances. They know what our ranges are. Their fur. These things, are they even cats? Hell, are they even animals at all? It's not from the side. They're not coming at us horizontally from upwind. They're attacking vertically now. They don't need to ride on the wind. So the wires like come from their tail fur? Interesting. Shit. They're coming at us from the treetop, Paco. So the fur from those tails are the wires, huh? They're coming. Ugh. Ugh. Gah. Shit, my throat. Smooth operators. They're digging into my skin. I can't slide them off. God damn it. Oh my god, his like eye is popping out of his socket. That's insane. God. November rain. I love when Araki does this. The like written out stand names when they call it. I don't think he did that before JoJolian. I can only remember like it's done with like King Nothing, Paper Moon King, and Soft and Wet. Like midway through the part, I think I go to the Higashikata Fruit Parlor that chapter, and then it's done again with Go Beyond later in the part. I wonder if this is more a consistent thing now. I really like it. It gives a lot of character to it, and the little like symbol. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I just realized something. The symbol that Jodio uses, that November Rain also uses, it's the arrow motif that goes around in everything in JoJoLands. Like that's been common since the very beginning. It's been on like all the marketing material and stuff like that. Paco has it a lot. Yeah, like at the top left panel, you can see it going along Paco's arm all the way up to his shoulder. Uh, it's just two of those arrows like pointing at each other. Huh. I wonder what the significance of that is. Because it's kind of like representing like two things meeting, I guess. Like gravity, maybe? I don't know. Hmm. Oh, can he just like shoot his rain out? Does every single new continuity JoJo just have a projectile attack? That's pretty funny. Uh, they all have to just like have a gun that shoots out. It's a western all the way down. Hmm. Uh, the wires went limp. One cat's worth at least. Whew. Ah, that's scary. Yeah. Ah, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that. I'm still kind of sick. All right. What the hell? Two of the cat's bodies are changing shape. One cat's worth of wires went Wait a minute. Is it not that the cat is the stand user? Is the cat just made out of string that another stand is creating? Hmm. When the hell? Two of the cat's bodies are changing shape. One cat's worth of wires went slack, though. Dragona, get into the cleft of the tree. They're still coming. We gotta hide ourselves. November rain. Ugh. They made a net? Ugh. Shit. Ugh. It's really strong. Jodio. Oh, shit. Okay. What? And a car just comes driving through the jungle. They went limp. Whoa, the rental car, right? Ah, so Usagi. All right, yeah, cool. Hey there, you Saki. You came back. Gra- gra- What do you want, Pink Chan? Pick something and say it. The Mate Kudasai. It's all of them. All of them have the in front of the name in this part, except for November Rain and Smooth Operators. All two of them. My the Mate Kudasai will turn into a fake of it. You for sure want the net, right? Not like the internet, like a net for catching these things and beating the tar out of them. Go ahead and say you want to capture them in the net, Pink Chan. You're out of your mind, Usagi. Don't stand there. You're downwind. The cats are sneaking around you. Listen, you're getting the wrong idea, guys. You know, you need to know I didn't decide to come back. I had an objective in mind, so I just went to the car for a bit, okay? That's totally different from hauling ass and then changing my mind. Got it? Okay. Defending himself. Uh, Fighting the allegations of being the traitor. See these burgers I've got? We left them on the car seat in the paper bag. I bought them back at the airport figuring I'd eat them later. They've got cheese and pineapple as toppings. But you know how normally a burger has a patty between two buns, right? I left for the car to get the patties. What does that to do with anything? And you know what? These little guys have already eaten them. How dare they? So you see, I've already won. Because I broke up the patties apart and fed them to the cats before they went up that tree. Okay? So what are they like bloated? What's the point here? Cause listen, I was thinking real serious like about sticking some drugs into the patties and feeding it to them, but then I was like, I gotta try this little. What are you talking about? What do you mean you drugged the cats while we weren't looking? What? Yeah, it wasn't drugs I missed into those patties. It was something worth a lot of. Oh, I see. That's dumb. That's very dumb. I swiped some caviar from Rohan's fridge. Remember that? So I stuck the caviar into the meat. It was caviar, sturgeon eggs. Cats love that stuff. They go straight for it. Of course. Of course, it was the caviar. That's the solution. Look right here. You know how much a container of this stuff costs? It takes 20 years for a beluga sturgeon to reach adulthood. So just 40 grams of this stuff costs $400, and it's double that if you want get it at a Waikiki hotel. Waikiki hotel. So this caviar, it's real expensive stuff. And I mixed it into the hamburger meat and fed it to the cats when they were on the ground a little while ago. So now let's see what happens. What possessed you to do that? Was that before they were like attacking everyone? Why would you do it at that point? What? Alright, okay, moving on. That other thing you've got in your hand, is that the lava rock? The lava rock. When did he take? I don't remember. I would need to look back at the previous chapter. You're kidding me. That can't be right, can it? Is it like the cats themselves are being drawn to it, not like the caviar in them or something? Are they trying to like who knows? The lava rock, they're being drawn to it. Come on now, say it to the Matatu Sai, Pink Chan. What? He looks really weird in this panel. I'm not sure why. Something about the pose. Say you want the net. Ask for it. Say it, Dragona. I want the net. Okie dokie, Pink Chan. Did it wrap them up in their own wires? Look, you see that? It worked. I have no clue the rationale, but it made it, and it looked like it made their front paws slip. But there you have it. They went in the direction of the most valuable thing. I don't understand what's going on anymore. All right. We can definitely make some big bucks with this thing. Look. Are you looking? The lava rock. We even managed to catch two cats with that net. Yum. On the Mata Kudasai. Yum. Well, for now. Yeah, for now. Oh, scary. Maybe these things are wild? A 24-karat diamond was just the beginning. This should go without saying, but do not speak a word about what you know about that lava rock to anyone. Can you trust those comrades of yours? Just keep it to yourself. I wouldn't if I were in your place. This lava rock, is it from the island of Hawaii? Where did he find it? Rohan sensei, I don't know what happened, but even if you don't want me speaking a word about it to anyone, it looks like something was watching you, even before we got to your villa in Hawaii. That lava rock carries a risk. Okay. All right. Uh, all right. Where do I start? I'm gonna be honest. That was kind of stupid. No, that was some proper JoJo asshole bullshit. I feel like we haven't gotten that in a while. Unless you count all of the Wonder Review, but you, like putting that aside, that's opposite direction. Yes, I just fed all the cats caviar off screen for no reason. All right. First thing that comes to mind with all this, my main question. Well, not question really. It's just something that I think is interesting about Usagi and the Mata Kudasai. Uh, Araki in the past has been like really staunchly like focused on this idea of individual characters like being heroic by themselves and not relying on other characters to succeed. Because something about like something weird about like working together devaluing their individual accomplishments. I don't remember. It was I think it was something in Manga in Theory and Practice, his book, where he talks about like writing manga. He said something to that effect, and you can really see that in JoJolian, like how that mantra affects the way he writes. So I find it really interesting that we have a character like Usagi, whose main ability, whose only ability, requires that other people be involved and ask him something of him. Uh, because that seems to be like completely contradictory to the sort of stuff that Araki typically writes, like his usual mindset with writing, with like how heroics work. Yeah, like the image of a lone hero, like a Western gunslinger or something like that. Uh, he's very insistent on individual characters like representing themselves and not like ganging up on an enemy because that's cowardly for some reason. It's strange. So like this kind of ability on Usaki, I'm not sure what he's planning with this. But it seems so like different from what he usually likes to write, and I enjoy that part. Like anything that involves cooperation between different characters, I much prefer that to just like every single character lone wolfing it throughout the entire part for some reason. Uh, so yeah, like that's just the main thing. He kind of broke that when Josuke attacked Toru with Paisley Park. Sort of. But on the other hand, like, it did also feel like they were both individually acting and producing a combined result as a result of their individual, like Josuke was going after Akefu, and Yasuho was defending herself against Toru, right? And he also immediately goes back on it when Josuke arrives and is like, "Oh yeah, I can just use Go Beyond all by myself now, so don't worry about it." Boom, dead. Again, one of my least favorite parts of that arc. It's such bullshit. It's so unnecessary. But anyway, what else is there? I find it interesting that like we're calling attention to Rohan talking about how he can't uh how Jodio shouldn't be trusting his partners again immediately after Usagi comes back and is like, "Hey, just so you know, wasn't betraying you in case that was what you were thinking. I was just going to get some burgers. That's all that's going on. Not a traitor. Not a traitor." It seems like the actual like intention Araki has is to make Usagi suspicious so that like people think he's trying to betray them and then be like, no, no, you've been misled." One thing that like keeps coming back to my head is they are supposed to get their shit rocked at some point before they get home, right? That's the implication of the dialogue at the end of the first chapter. Like, doesn't matter how many stand users that we had, we still wouldn't have been able to beat them. So far, they've had a pretty successful run going, and it seems whoever like is attached to these cats is the something was watching you that Jodio is referring to. So like, are they going to encounter a different stand user before they get to the airport or something? I think that in the end the entire cast will betray each other. I don't know if I would go that far. I've made my point before that like I think Dragona and Jodio are pretty much like destined to come into conflict with each other. But as for everyone else, I think it's up in the air. It doesn't really, it could go one way or another. Hmm. That's how the cats use strings. Who else? And perhaps Jolene uses strings. Yes, the cats. The cats were in fact dogs. They were Rai Mamazuku. Is this like this panel at the top? That's Mate Kudasai on the left, and yeah, the cat on the two cats on the right. That's messed up. Don't leave the Mate Kudasai in there with the cats. Can't do that. That's stand abuse. That's not fair. It worked. I've no clue the rationale, and it looked like it made their front paw, but it made and then made their like what? It worked. I have no clue how it worked, but it worked. Before the diamond was just like teleporting all over the place. Why is it like binding them now? Hmm. What do you think happened to the cat that ran away? Probably went back to their owner or something. Yeah, because there's three cats, right? And only two of them got trapped in the net. That makes sense. We're probably gonna get either next chapter or the chapter after. It'll be like a cat arriving and like meeting up with this silhouette who goes on a monologue about like how they're so evil and they're going to get all the money in the world or whatever. Something like that. That seems like something close to what Araki would put. Evil silhouette man. Jojo killed the third cat. When was that? When he started like, oh right, when he started like shooting the thing and the it went slack. No, the cat runs off, doesn't it? Yeah, there's three cats here. Jodio gets one of them and it runs off. I don't think it dies at any point. Hoping this is going to be the part 5 that Rocky meant to write. I don't think that's a fair way to frame it. Like he made one change because he couldn't go through with like having Fugo betray the gang. Aside from that, like part 5 kind of just went the way, well, I guess also like with Giorno being a man instead of a woman, but he basically fixed that with Jolene in Stone Ocean. He got to do his female protagonist, so part 5 had good fights from the start, so this isn't that. Listen, all right, we're one fight in, 2 fights in. Rohan was a good fight. I liked the Rohan fight. It was interesting the whole way through. Caviar magnetism. Off screen caviar feeding hamburger. Usagi hamburger feed off screen caviar cat. It worked. I have no clue the rationale. Uh, I don't know. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying JOJOLands so far. I think it's good. I think people are being a bit harsh on it. Uh, okay. Uh, I saw something like before I started avoiding any JOJOLands content stuff. I think it was from the volume release though, not the actual chapter. Something about Jodio, his stand November Rain, uh, like it being confirmed that November Rain, uh, what's it called, uses gravity. Like it, it rains gravity essentially. Is that correct, or am I misinterpreting something that I saw? If I can get like some verification in the chat. The fight solution had to include the lava rock because the rest of the gang had to realize how it worked. I acknowledge that. I agree. I think this is one of the dumbest ways you can do it, though. It's not too bad, but it's like, it's a proper JoJo ass pull. Yes, on the JoJo Portal site. Okay. It rains gravity. Alright. That's very part 6. That's very part 6. That's very weather report plus Poochie. That's very weather report plus Poochie. I'm telling you guys. Especially with the symbol that's just 2 arrows pointing at each other. Like, that's a perfect symbol for gravity. It's just like forces attracting each other together. I think this could have been good if the manga actually showed the setup. That would require that Araki think in advance and know to include that. Sorry. Low hanging fruit. Uh, the heart symbol with the arrows pointing towards each other. Yeah, that just feels like a symbol for like individuals coming together because of the gravity of their fate or whatever, however you want to phrase it. I'm annoyed that gravity is a concept in both universes. Flow works so differently from fate. I think having overlapping turns is a bad idea. Flow is more of a like Eastern philosophy, right? Well, gravity might be too. I'm not too familiar with like all these different like concepts in like Asian philosophy. I think it's like Taoist or something like that. I don't know. I feel like I need to take up a new field every time like Araki mentions some random thing offhand. Why do you think Usagi keeps asking Dragona specifically to say what the Matakudasai turns into? Simping, probably. Yeah, that seems like the simplest answer. Are we at the point where there's less JoJoLands that doesn't have these cats than there is than does? The cat didn't appear until chapter 4, right? Maybe. I think there was a chapter in between where they didn't appear, so it's probably like 3 out of 7. Yeah, I think it's probably less than that. The cats haven't been around that much. We're very early on in the party. Like you guys, you gotta chill, right? Like let stuff happen at its own pace. Like, have you never read a monthly series before? Did you not read JoJolian as it was coming out? I feel like that's gotta be the case for a lot of people because there's so much like people wanting to get to the action, like no patience whatsoever. It's strange. Like we're not even a year into the part, and new shit's been happening. I'd say like 5 out of the 7 chapters. Like we've been on a really good pace. So I don't think it's very fair to be acting like nothing is happening in JoJoLands. I'm genuinely curious what's gonna happen next since the cats aren't like dead or anything. They're gonna kill him. And then it's gonna be revealed that they weren't real the whole time. They were just string. Hmm. Anyway, is there anything that I should touch on before we get going? This is mostly just like, how long was this? 36 pages? It was mostly like 30 pages or so of Jodio just swinging around in the air in a net. So there's not that much to touch on, but you know, I enjoyed it. I really enjoy like the fact that every single JoJo in this continuity has to have like a finger projectile essentially. Man, the perspective of November Rain throughout this part is gonna get weird. Like he's gonna be shooting rain off from the side constantly. In Jajali, in that chapter 7, we were already introduced to the Higashikatas, Kiro, Jiro, etc. I think part nine's problem is that all the new characters were introduced in chapter 1 and then nothing new happened since. Okay, but I also don't think that's very fair because by the end of Soft and Wet, the arc, uh, they suddenly introduced the entire Higashikata family in a single page, and then elaborated it from that point onwards. Uh, just remembering how like everyone looked in it, they were looking so like weird. What the hell was going on with Joe back then? Anyway, uh, so like we pretty much had this entire first part of the first arc dedicated to simply Gappy, Yasuho, a bit of Joshu in there, and then Ojiro, and also Naked Woman, uh, the most standout part character in the part. But like then after that, we had like one chapter dedicated to introducing the Higashikata family, and then we were into a full arc with simply like Daya, Gappy, and Yasuho as the focus. So I don't think it's really that much faster paced. In fact, I say by the time we get to California King Bed, like the pacing kind of slows down to a crawl up until we get to Family Tree, which Family Tree was chapter 11. So I don't know. And also, like we had Rohan suddenly appearing like in chapter 2. You're all forgetting that was wild. Like no one. That was crazy. Like what the hell? Rohan Kishibe? Damn. What's he doing here? You know. Uh, what else? It would make sense for the cast to be rock animals since Rocky really likes them. I hope not. I hope the rock things stay in JOJOLian because they do not work. I hope the main through line is the blessed lands or whatever you want to call them, the devil's palms, and that's it. And maybe the Higashikatas come back at some point, and Jobin rises from the dead. Maybe. Imagine Jodio and Jobin interacting and be like looking at a mirror. The cat's making the net is a cool look. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's very like horrifying. I feel like we've gotten less body horror since Araki has gone into seinen manga, which is strange. Like you would expect it to be the opposite, but he seems to just have like more sexual themes than anything now. If this is the SPR universe, Rohan was just there in Mario and did nothing, as he should. Can't wait for Rohan to turn out to be Mitsuba's unborn kid. I still have hope in my heart that he's secretly Tsurugi. That'd be the funniest thing. It's not gonna happen though. We would have known by now if it would. Well, maybe not, but it's not gonna happen. Rocky just wanted to make more thus spokes in the new continuity. That's all. That's the only thing. The reason it exists. Why else would he make Kyoka canon? Like, what other purpose does Kyoka serve in this main narrative? I'm sorry because it makes absolutely zero sense for rock humans slash animals to stay in Jajoli and it was implied to be a global thing. Yeah, but they also weren't in Steel Ball Run. They don't have to interact with the plot. Like they're not gone. They're just not relevant. Hopefully. Unless Diego was secretly a rock human or some shit. Anyway. No, this is a cinematic universe now. You need to read Thus Spoke to comprehend JoJoLands, of course. The JoJo cinematic universe, the second one. There's two. Uh, is there anything else? Oh yeah, this is a rental car, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. The rental place isn't gonna be happy about this. I don't think. I feel like they're gonna lose all the money that they got from stealing the diamond, just repairing this car. Uh, anyway, all right. I think we're good to go here. Any last things people want me to touch on? And if not, I'll head out. Uh, hopefully lay down for a bit because I'm still kind of sick. I hope we get wanted posters for the main gang at some point in this part. That feels inevitable. What, like, I think One Piece does that. That'd be pretty funny. Honestly, though, I don't feel like they're going to get arrested at any point. Like, I know that like people are looking out for the like the Stone Ocean parallels, but I don't think like it's going to be that direct. I think it's going to be more like theming, like with stuff like gravity and the mechanisms and whatever. The whole chapter was completely incomprehensible. I mean, yeah, kind of. I won't argue on that. It was pretty dumb. A lot of shit just happened off screen. When will Araki confirm Dragona's pronouns? I think the main issue with that is Japanese like handles pronouns way different than English, so it's not something that like he would be like looking to clarify, if that makes sense, because there's not really any need to do that in his own like language. So I feel like if we're going to figure out at any point, it's probably going to be something like I hope it's not, but like it's probably gonna be through like Usagi's crush on Dragona or something like that. Like him finding out, oh, Dragona is actually a man or something like that, and being like, "What? I am attracted to a man? Oh, that like as forward thinking as Araki can be at points, that feels like the kind of thing he does a bit too much. That kind of like tropey thing, it would be something that he falls back on. But you know, maybe he'll surprise me and Usagi will be like, "Hey, you know what? That's completely cool. It's the year 2023. We're in Hawaii. I can deal." And then like Dragona's like, "Just fuck off. I'm not like that. I don't care about that." I don't know. Can you tell that like my brain is not working at 100% right now? Not happening because Pecona is the real ship. Listen, Paco is married to one thing only, and that's the hustle. All right. So like, get out of here with all that. All right, just like go away. Paco only cares about the grind, and that's it. Still that fun though, despite it being incomprehensible. They won because of caviar. such a like they gotta nail Araki has gotta nail down how the function of the rock at the lava rock works. Cause like if it's gonna be such a major plot point, then it's a bit rough if it's just like, oh, things that have eaten something valuable are now attracted to the lava rock. Will just walk towards it for some reason. I don't know. Like that seems so strange because the cats like seem to be thinking on some level, or they're being controlled by something that's thinking on some level. They understand the range of the attacks, so TBH, I'd prefer the whole gang staying friends. It's JoJo. We're not gonna get like romance shit. We had JoJolian, like one of the most romantically aligned parts where its two leads like had clear romantic tension uh for each other. It was like a strong part of their character. It was a major factor. And by the end, like the closest thing is like they hug briefly at the end, and it's nothing more than that. Like they're never in a relationship at any point. So don't expect it in JoJoLands. Like, are you serious? Come on, it's not gonna happen. Jodio gravity pulling things together, love Arakias, and the mechanism. Just like you can boil it all down to the mechanism. What does that mean? It means whatever Araki wants it to mean at that point of the week. You could say that cats are weak-willed things. No cat I have ever met has been weak-willed. Tell you that much. I always assumed Josuke and Yasuo were in an unsaid relationship, or I could just left it implicit. I don't think I would go that far. Like, that's not the vibe I get when at the beginning of the Wonder Review arc, when they're going through the hospital and like they have the love triangle shit with Toru. That uh, like that's not the impression I get from their relationship. Like towards the end, when uh Josuke finally comes back to the Higashikata house and like Yasuo just like kind of leans on his shoulder. Like that's kind of a bit more like, oh, maybe they at least take solace in each other's company. But it's not that much more than that. It doesn't seem to be, at least. I'm fully convinced Jodio has two personalities and will be a traitor without realizing, as well as his evil personality being the final villain of part 9. Hopefully not, because I hate that trope. It probably would. I don't think it'd be very good if, like, on top of having Jodio have antisocial personality disorder, he also had like, what is it, DID? Like, that doesn't. That just feels unnecessary and not kind of like treating it as something that actually exists and more just a convenient plot point. Ultimately, I feel like a major theme for the part will be about Jodio opening up to people overcoming his mental disorders. Uh, I hope it's not tackled exactly like you said, but yeah, I do agree. Because like, what was the author's note that was in the volume? Like, Araki specifically talks about like this certain age that Jodio's at being what he considers to be at the point where like a person's fate or something is most malleable, and like their direction for the future is determined, and like they experience the most growth of their personality or something like that, which I think is like reasonable. And like I can see us having this like large overarching narrative where Jodio is his goal is wealth, and he learns that the true wealth is the friends that we make along the way, or something like that. Uh, there's a number of ways that it could go about, but like I've mentioned it before, like he has a very like similar arc trajectory, weirdly enough, to Walter White from Breaking Bad. Uh, in a lot of ways, but like he seems to be like poised to be more what's the term, like empath for us to be more empathetic towards him. I hope Jodio doesn't have ASPD because that's a hard barrier to genuine character development. I don't think that's a fair thing to say, but I think there was like a volume update to like that part where like he's being diagnosed as a psychopath in chapter 2 or something, where it's like it's not him being diagnosed as a psychopath, it's him questioning whether he is a psychopath after being the doctor saying like, oh, he might have antisocial personality disorder, which I think is a lot, it's a lot better because it being something that Jodio is considering about himself rather than something some quack doctor is telling him, despite the fact that it's not really something you should be diagnosing a child with. Uh, you know, like I think that's a lot more conductive to an actual character arc. You know, I don't know if I'm making sense right now. Jodio is every JoJo villain combined. He's got Dio in his name, Pucci's gravity powers, Diavolo's split personality, and whatever those other guys have. I don't know if that's true. Uh, Diavolo feels like a reach. Pucci maybe. Joe Dio is definitely not related to Cars in any way, but Cars didn't have a stand, so like, does he even count? I don't know. I don't think that's a reasonable like point to make at this point. I feel like Jodio, like the name Araki, just came up with it just to make it, because like he can't have a Hawaiian Joestar named Jorno. Like I suppose he could actually, but like it kind of just feels wrong, you know? Like, does it not feel wrong to just have like, oh, of all the things that like this character with this backstory could be named, Jorno would feel so strange. So like, as weird of a name as Jodio is, like that feels more in line with his character's like context than Jorno does, but it still conveys the same idea of, you know, Jonathan and Dio combined child. I'm really interested in like what the actual parentage of Jodio and Dragona is, especially if like they're not even like full siblings, like maybe they're just like related from their mother or something like that. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? We're still early on in the it could be anything. Dragona is more like Pucci than Jodio. Yeah, yeah, I agree. Dragona has a lot of like elements that remind me of Pucci. Even if Jodio has like the gravity inclination. Uh, like they feel like they're poised to be, you know, Weather Report and Pucci. Like they have so many similarities. Like even ignoring the fact that what's it called? That Jodio is just like his stand is a weather themed ability and whatever. Uh like if people, I've discussed this how many times, but IMO, most of the OG verse connections feel very forced by fans right now. I think the part needs more time to set it up properly. I mean, yeah, I agree with that on some level, but at the same time, like I find it really questionable how people are like you're overthinking the original universe connections because like I don't think it's reasonable to make that claim in the slightest. Like there's so many different parts of the previous two parts where you can clearly see Araki is like taking uh some portion of the original continuity and reimagining it in some way that utilizes the fact that the most readers will have read that original continuity to like get something different from it than they would just having experienced this on its own. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right. I think that's enough. Like we've been going an hour. I'm getting tired. Sorry. Uh, so like yeah. Same time next month. Hopefully I won't be sick again, and we can do this like when the chapter drops. Thank you all for coming. Yeah. Hey there.